Hi friends, my name is Keri. I'm a pelvic physiotherapist and I am the pelvic physiotherapist that worked with Michelle through her prenatal and postpartum journey. I understand that Michelle has taken you through a great challenge here, which is super exciting. She's asked me to be a part of that challenge by providing you with 3 exercises that I like to use for my prenatal and postpartum clientele. And so I've chosen 3 of my favorites. Each one is responsible for doing something a little bit different, but all very important in both the prenatal and the postpartum parts of your journey. So the first exercise that I want to talk about is the arm thread. We want to remember through all of these exercises that we are using our breathing and we are keeping our core established using both our transversus abdominis muscles, which are our belly muscles, and our pelvic floor muscles, also calling on those back muscles a little bit. So I want to stress the importance of breathing through these exercises. I'm going to demonstrate how to do them and whereabouts our breathing is working for us. So the first exercise that I love is the arm thread. I like this exercise because it's great for softening our pelvic floor as well as reducing any anxiety or tension that we might be having. Imagining that prenatal and postpartum, those are quite common emotions for us to feel. So this exercise can be used in both of those time frames. So with the arm thread, what I like to do is I like people to get into a bit of a modified child's pose. And if you are pregnant, you're going to have to open your legs a little bit just to make room for your belly. You're going to take one arm and you're going to reach it underneath the other arm. So you're reaching towards the opposite wall to get a stretch. When you're in this position, you want to think about inhaling in through the nose in an effort to soften that pelvic floor. So you're going to inhale and try to release the pelvic floor. I often use the rosebud analogy of trying to open a rosebud as you inhale. And when you exhale, you can think of gently engaging your pelvic floor. I like to use the analogy of gently drawing a blueberry up and into the vagina. So again, we're going to inhale and soften the floor. And then exhale with a gentle engagement of the pelvic floor. And we're going to do that on both sides. So this helps with rotation in our body, the movement itself, and then it also helps us work on releasing tension and helping to engage our pelvic floor. The next exercise that I love, there was always a belief that the best way to have baby exit the birth canal and open the outlet is to have our knees as far apart as we can. But actually what that does is it actually closes the outlet. We want to think of having our knees closer together in an effort to open that outlet, especially when we are in the act of pushing. So I like to work internal rotators, our hip internal rotators, both pre and postpartum. The way that I teach that is I get you to get a band, and you're going to put a band around your ankles, and I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing here. But what you're going to do is you're going to be in quadruped, so hands directly underneath your shoulders and knees directly underneath your hips. You want to keep your core engaged so that your back is nice and flat. And what you're going to do is you're going to take those toes out to the side and then back towards each other. So the only thing moving are the toes. And what you're doing is you're going into something called hip internal rotation. I'm going to show you this from the back as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to think of taking those toes out and then back in. As you go out, you're going to think of softening your pelvic floor with an inhale, and then you can exhale and they come back in. So that's the second exercise that I love for training our internal rotators. My third favorite exercise for both populations, oftentimes either during pregnancy or afterwards, we can experience pain in what we call the symphysis pubis. So this is right in the front of your pelvis. Oftentimes it will feel worse when you're in a single leg stand. For example, when you stand to put on a pair of pants or put on a sock. Anytime we're in that single leg stance, there can be a little bit of shift in that joint that is there, the pubic joint, the symphysis pubis. So this exercise helps to engage muscles to give a little bit more strength through the inner thigh muscles, which lead into that area, as well as pelvic floor. So for this exercise, what I like to do is I like to lay on my back, and your feet are going to be parallel, and you're going to place a block or a ball or a pillow or a cushion in between your legs. And what you're going to do is you're going to inhale to soften the pelvic floor. And when you exhale, you're going to squeeze into that block. So you can actually move it down a little bit further if you'd like. So you're going to inhale. And then when you exhale, you're going to squeeze. And really try to work those muscles of the inner thighs. We're really trying to work these muscles as opposed to our glutes. It's more important that we activate those inner thigh muscles to help with that symphysis pubis pain. So inhale to soften, and exhale and squeeze that block or ball or whatever it is you have in between your legs. Okay? All of the exhales, I typically suggest that people exhale for about 7 to 10 seconds. So holding that activation for 7 to 10 seconds. You can go a little longer if that feels comfortable for you. I just like to make sure people don't hold their breath. So when you are actually engaging muscles, I like you to be exhaling. So these are 3 of my faves that I love for my pregnant and postpartum mamas. I hope that you find that they're helpful for you as well. And obviously, if you have any questions, you can reach out at any time. I hope you enjoy Michelle's challenge, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.